going to take that into temporary custody intervention.
Why?
Because we have reasonable grounds to suspect that as a threat to the security of the court. That being said, you've recorded inside the building multiple times, your warning as well. So we're going to take that into temporary custody. And same with your phone as well, so we're going to take both your phones into temporary custody, otherwise we can't access the building.
You guys have recorded in advance, so therefore that's how we deem it a risk to the security of the court. So we just want to take extra measures to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's all good. You guys can withdraw your consent anytime. If you want to come down and use your phone, that's more than fine. Just so that you're aware, like, you don't have any other recording devices at all, Mark? And you're aware that it is an offence? And you're aware that it is an offence? And you're aware that it is an offence? And you're aware that it is an offence to record in the building?
Sorry?
You're aware that it's against the rules within the building to record?
Is it an offence or against the rules?
Well, what I'm saying to you is it's against the rules within the building to record, okay? And I've told you that. It's also harassment, which is an offence. Okay?
What's harassment?
Recording people, okay, after you've been warned not to.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Do you know the definition of harassment? 2 or more times within
Mark,
12
I'm
months.
not going to argue with you about
then
this.
Don't try and give me legal advice. You're not a lawyer. Don't try and explain legislation to me.
Okay, Mark, because what I'm saying, okay, is that you can't record in the building because of the private and confidential information within inside this building.
Wrong.
Okay, and after you've been requested not to record because I'm in this building, I don't want to be recorded.
Good afternoon, guys. Well, good evening, should I say. Little update for you as far as Tony Adams and the arrest that happened at Auckland Airport. Now, on the 22nd when we went there, you saw the carries on of Benjamin Murphy, the court security manager, and how he behaved. First telling me I couldn't record in the publicly accessible area of the courthouse, which I am perfectly entitled to do. They may prohibit it, but there is nothing that gives it any legal force or effect in law, which is why Chris Hurd, several years back, from Senior Solicitor from Ministry of Justice, said to me it is not a criminal offence in and of itself to do so, and that it would revert back to civil law, where they would exercise their right as the occupier of the building to ask you to leave. So he first come up and said I couldn't record, tried to give me grief about my jersey, even though I explained it to beforehand with another officer and all was well, even though when I went into the place with my jumper on through security, I even got complimented from one of the security guards on my jumper. So it was quite weird that after a first security guard came up, asked for an explanation and I gave him one, that they then do that other shit. In the end, he accused me of impersonating a court security officer, although I wasn't detained for anything. He did detain Tony. He says that quite clearly on the video, which was unlawful because court security officers only have authority on very specific acts like murder, acid throwing, absconding, all sorts of little jazz like that. It's very, very simply laid out in the Court Security Act 1999 if you go and look at the interpretation of specified act. There's quite a few in the Summary Offences Act, Crimes Act, Arms Act, Misuse of Drugs Act. Other than that, such as recording in a public building, which isn't an offence, he had no right to detain him. So yeah. Anyway, I met up with Tony yesterday morning. As we went through security, young Benjamin was there, so I'll let you guys have a listen to that. He accuses me of harassment, of it being an offence, and then just as the Freudian slip was about to finish, he then changed it to against their rules. He discriminated against me again, gave me cause to fear for my safety again, and seized my property. He took my main phone, my second cell phone, my S8, which I'm recording on now, and he took my body cam. Now, I did also have my sunglasses, which also were a recording device, but they were broken, so they weren't going to work. So he asked me, do I have any recording devices? I answered him straight away, but he had to ask again. tried giving me legal advice, and then when I wanted to ask him if he knew what the definition of, say, harassment was, he didn't want to go there. So I'm going to put little clips here for you so you can see, as far as the Harassment Act 1997 is concerned. I suggest he goes and looks up Section 2, the interpretation of these terms. Section 3, which is the meaning of harassment. You've got Section 4, which is the meaning of specified act. And a lot of this Harassment Act is based around people that are in relationships and family situations and structures. Harassment Act Section 5 is meaning of an act done to person. Harassment Act is also criminal harassment is under Section 8, in case he wants to know what that is. And Harassment Act 1997 Section 17, which is one he should take note of, defence to prove that specific acts done for lawful purpose. I have every right and lawful purpose to record in a court building any interaction I have with a public official in the course of their duties. If you don't like that, get another job. If you think other people are taking offence to it, why are you recording everybody? You can't turn around and record everybody and let everybody know with CCTV and then turn around and say that people get offended by being recorded. If that's the case, why is the court offending everybody by recording them? You can't have it both ways. You want to go on about privacy? Sure, Privacy Act doesn't apply to individuals. It does apply to the court. And if you guys have got private information in view of the public, then you best fucking look at your laws and restructure things so it's not. But it ain't up to me, and you don't get to stomp on my rights to seek, receive and impart information and then shaft me and try and... Now, he also took all of Tony's cameras. Tony had 2 phones, so they took his as well.
Suspect there is a threat to the security of the court. That being said, you've recorded inside the building multiple times, your warning as well. So we're going to take it into custody. And same with your phone as well, so we're going to take both your phones into custody, otherwise we can't access the building.
Has he got a phone?
That's alright, he's all good. We have reasonable grounds to suspect it.
Before, even though it's perfectly legal, he's suspecting it's a threat to the court. So.
Is this your bag? Yeah. So I'll just grab your phones in the train, so if that's alright. Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Sorry. Yeah, thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
Want my little body cam?
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you have
nothing else in there other than a battery charger and leads from my phone. It's a battery.
Okay, well, sorry, I'll let you do that. That's right. I don't want to. No, you can put that back in the phone. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Sure.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, but I'll just let you guys know. So the reason being is because obviously you guys have recorded in advance, so therefore that's how we're doing a risk to the security of the court. So we just want to take extra measures to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's all good. You guys can withdraw your consent anytime. If you want to come down and use your phone, that's more than fine. Is it okay? Cool. I'll just get to come down here.
Listen, so you don't tamper with my phone?
No, of course. We've got forms to make sure it's everything. This is under cameras.
It's your bag.
Yeah.
So it's a non-tamper bag.
Yeah.
Okay, can I see it?
Look, come over here, bro. We'll book up. Sorry, I call everyone that. I don't mean it like that.
You address me as soon.
How's your guys' morning been so far?
Busy.
It's good. So I'll just do 2 separate forms for you guys. So I'll get you to fill that one, please. I just need your name, phone number, and then your signature there, please. I'll fill out the rest. Do you have a pen at all, bro? Yeah.
Sorry, name?
Yeah. phone number, if that's all right.
It's not like you can ring
No,
me,
of
is
course,
it?
it's just, yeah.
Kitchen knife, scissors, multi-tool, Stanley, screwdriver.
Sorry, sorry, just that one there, that's where you probably consent.
Well, cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, so am I. That's alright.
So yeah,
It will be added in the civil suit. It's not a problem.
no worries guys, it's alright. Cool, so I'll give you that one, so that's just for you want to get your stuff back, and then... I appreciate the compliance with you guys here. As I said, we're just
I
following our
don't
job.
appreciate anything that's happening here. It's a phone.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Look at all this here. Jeepers.
So, no, don't worry about that, I can fill that out.
No, I'll do it. I can fill it. I'm more than capable.
Cool. And then just where that highlight is, if you could just sign the consent.
Do I really have to?
Sorry,
So I'm not consenting
Did
to
my
it.
cigarettes?
Well, then if you can, sorry, you can go back. If you don't want to consent to it, then I can't let you into the building for this. So we can't take these items into temporary custody without your consent. Just so that you're aware, like you don't have any other recording devices at all, Mark? And you are aware that it is an offence. And you are aware that it is an offence. And you are aware that it is an offence to record in the building?
Sorry?
You're aware that it's against the rules within the building to record?
Is it an offence or against the rules?
Well, it's now that I'm telling you that it is against the rules, and it's a request from myself.
I'm aware it's a prohibition that has absolutely no force or effect in law whatsoever.
Yeah, okay, but what I'm saying to you is it's against the rules within the building to record, okay, and I've told you that. It's also harassment, which is an offence. But what I'm saying to you is it's against the rules within the building to record, okay, and I've told you that. It's also harassment, which is an offence. But what I'm saying to you is it's against the rules within the building to record, okay, and I've told you that. It's also harassment, which is an offence.
What's harassment?
Recording people, okay, after you've been warned not to.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Do you know the definition of harassment? Two or more times within
Mark,
12
I'm not
months.
going to argue with you
Look,
about
then
this.
don't try and give me legal advice. You're
Yeah.
not a lawyer.
Do you want me-
Don't try and explain legislation to me.
Okay, Mark,
okay?
because what I'm saying, okay, is that you can't record in the
story.
building because of the private and confidential information within inside this building.
Wrong.
Okay, and after you've been requested not to record
You're
because
wrong.
I'm in
He's
this
going to
building,
keep
I don't want to be
pushing. He's going to
recorded.
keep
You're
pushing
wrong.
until he gets his own way.
No.
Like
I've
a
already
little kid
discussed
throwing
this
his
with the
toys out
Ministry
of
of
it.
Justice,
Mark, do
which
you,
is higher than
Mark,
you.
do you have any other recording devices? on
Have
you?
I answered you that already?
No.
Well, I have.
Okay, do you have any other recording devices?
I've said no.
Okay, cool.
Do you
Fantastic.
not,
That's what I wanted to
do you
hear.
not understand the
I'll just
words?
grab these. So, Tony, there's cameras right under here, right?
Exactly.
What we'll do is we put
Yeah,
these in a
yeah.
secure drawer.
Can you make sure all of the footage containing me is supplied to me, please?
Tony, I'll just grab your phone.
So you will supply me all of the footage of me inside here today?
Tony, are you comfortable putting your phone in here, please?
Just put it on, mate. We've got fucking documents up there and shit.
Alright, cool. You've got your tag to come get the phone back?
Yeah, he's got his tag.
Cool. Alright, cheers, guys. No, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Where's the registry?
So just customer service on that right side over there.
We then went into the registry because we're filing a counterclaim, which rarely ever happens. Normally in court in these criminal cases, it's the police's narrative, you know, what they're saying happened, and then you're defending yourself against their narrative instead of telling your own story and filing a counterclaim, so then the judge and the court can hear both sides of what happened. In Tony's case, he's got it all recorded. So that isn't going to look too good when what we found out to be Cherie here, a constable who apparently was classing herself as the occupier of Auckland Airport, unlawfully trespassed him. You know, was she working for the airport as an occupier, or was she acting as an impartial constable? I think the first one may have been it, because she went and solicited it from the from young Nicholas. So, yeah, not impressed. So, I don't make my videos to intimidate anyone. I simply exercise my freedom of expression. Again, if you don't like that, Ben, North Korea, China, I'm sure they're all, you know, taking people in. I'd love to have you, especially the way you behave. You'd do well. So yeah, as far as harassment act, no. So what we did is, because neither of us had our phones, and you wouldn't believe it, but in a place that runs by time schedules, not one clock on the walls anywhere, So we're in the registry there for about 10 minutes, and we get the signed and sworn in the affidavit, which is to file a counterclaim. You need a notice of proceedings, statement of claim, counterclaim, and an affidavit. Now, so what we did is we got that sworn in. Then we didn't know what the time was. Tony's thing upstairs for his first call hearing was at 10:30, so we popped upstairs. We went upstairs to courtroom 12 again, and sat outside, and a duty solicitor came up. First thing we said is that we're filing a counterclaim, because he wanted to know what our names was. So after the police wrongly had the wrong name for Adams in that courtroom, I don't know who that it wasn't Tony, they got that fixed up. We gave them the memorandum asking for the documents, like charging documents and files, to the duty solicitor. He went and handed it to the police, so that's great. They got served the memorandum. Then he comes back and says, come and have a word to us. We go into a little private room. The duty solicitor then goes, all right, so what's the deal? We're just going to go plead not guilty on all of this, are we? And I showed him the authority to act form that Tony had just signed, giving me authority to talk to the duty solicitor. I said to the duty solicitor, well, you know, how can he possibly enter a fully informed and knowing plea if he hasn't even got the charging documents in front of him? He doesn't know what he's being charged with. So that was a little impasse we couldn't get past. So in the end, the duty solicitor trottled on off out the door for 4 or 5 minutes and came back with 3 charging documents, which Tony is entitled to under section 12(1) of the Criminal Disclosure Act. He came back with those. We got all 3 charges sorted out, so we know what they're charging him under, what legal provisions, and then of course Tony just did his thing. Yep, it's going to be not guilty. Go into the courtroom, get all that sorted out. Not guilty pleas are entered. Then he gets given a notice for unrepresented person for a case management hearing. So his next thing is on the 9th of November at 11:45 at Manukau Court for a case management hearing. I tell you what, Ben, if you want to try and take my stuff again next time and claim that it's a threat to the safety and security, I want to see your risk assessment that you've done. The fact that I have done it numerous times and recorded in publicly accessible areas of courthouses in the past only strengthens the fact that I can do it, because I don't believe I've ever been charged or arrested for doing that. Salt many times is up on YouTube and other platforms, just like you're going to be again. So it's absolutely ridiculous that this is carrying on. But what you have done, Ben, is you have committed harassment against me. You've caused me to fear for my safety, and you've seized my property without any lawful right to do so. I know you said it was consented. Oh yeah, and what's the option? I withdraw my consent and get kicked out of the building. Then I'm no help to anyone. That would have obstructed our lawful right to exercise in the court building. You know, so it's ridiculous the way that behaved. So in the end, next time when we come in, Ben, you know, seeing you're going to be waiting at the counter, I'm sure you will be, twiddling your thumbs. When you're at the counter, Benjamin, make sure that you just, unlike yesterday, you let the person in front of us and the person behind us have their cell phones. One was using a cell phone as he was walking past us. But clearly he wasn't a threat. And the only difference between him and I is that I exercised my right under section 14 of BORA in a public place, which I've already cleared and squared away with the Ministry of Justice years ago. Guess you didn't get the memo. So if you want to try that shit again with me next time, tell you what, you better stop the 10 or 20 people ahead of me and behind me as well, because I might bring other people and they might fucking just record your bloody behaviour again. Another hot tip for you: if you're going to seize property, it's a shame you don't know passcodes, because you can't stop them from recording. And I don't have to answer your questions if you say, is this recording or not? None of your fucking business. perhaps you might mind your P's and Q's and what you accused me of next time. Just like old Brian did in 2014, I think it was. Or sorry, 2017 in front of Judge Black.
30 seconds and I'm entering a D not guilty plea. I'm not having this conversation. I'm not wasting my time.
Are you entering a plea on behalf of your own?
Yeah, because you're refusing to enter a plea.
Are you practicing law from the bench, Your Honour?
I think you can't.
Are you practicing law from the bench? Are you
Don't talk to me like that, Mr. King. I hold you in contempt and have you detained.
We might suggest some training further, as Grant failed to check the phone was off. We believed it was. However, the audio recorder seemed to still have been active. Whoops. By Grant taking my phone and cameras, he unwittingly placed them in a better location to receive the audio. Please pass on my thanks to him.
Just like Brian did. He seized all of my cameras. They were the decoys. Didn't get my sunglass cameras. They were working back then. And he seized my phone, which was audio recording. And what did he do? He trottled off right up close to the judge and sat all of my property next to him. So I got a much better audio recording of Judge Black acting like a complete imbecile. So, yeah, that happened. So that's where we stand. Like I say, 7th of November, 11:45, case management hearing. To file the counterclaim, which has been all stamped and whatnot from the registrar. Paperwork's all in order. We just need to get a couple of memory sticks to put the actual video files on, so that when we trottle on off down to the police station at Manukau and physically serve papers on those two officers, or at least for them at that location, as well as serving, sending one off down to Molesworth in Wellington to the main police national headquarters, so everyone's informed. Then we'll see what happens, won't we? It'll be an interesting case management hearing, won't it? Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. It's almost 15 minutes I've been rattling on, so you guys are all fully informed, and I'll leave you all to it. Of course, I can't report on the ingoings and outgoings of the case, can I? No, but I can express my opinions, and that's all this is. My opinions of what happened and my observations. Information that I saw and are imparting. If you don't like that, get another job. And guys, just one other thing I wanted to add with you is I don't really like asking for donations. If people want to give, that's fine, but it's not something I ever like to ask for. I do what I do because it helps people, not for any other reason. However, because it's going to be costing Tony $200 for filing fees, if anyone out there wants to donate and help in some way, shape or form to support that going forward, then that would be awesome. My bank account details to do that donation is in the bottom of the description of this video, as it is with all others. So yeah, if you people are interested, any of my loyal subscribers or anyone that just enjoys watching the videos, by all means. Now is one of those rare occasions that I really would appreciate a little bit of help in that regard. Thanks guys, catch you all very, very soon. Sorry, it's getting a bit tired now, getting a bit late. See ya.